Good morning, everyone. This is Saturday, and on Monday I go back to having a full-time job. So I want to commemorate this past month of intensive learning about video and vlogging, and to share my top 5 teachable moments from all the memories. And don't worry, I am not going anywhere. I'm committed to keeping Pandas for Productivity alive because I think more and more of us are going to be forced to upskill in analytics in the middle of our careers and to do this on the job. So this is a compilation of my insights and learnings in a very practical sense, and which will go beyond the theoretical knowledge that you learn from the academic courses, and it also shares the tips that help me to improve my throughput. Also, I want to continue H Can Hack because that's my passion. So that's why I had to devote a lot of time into learning the skill of video during this month so that I can continue to be productive and to create content even when I am working a 9 to 5. Memory number 1. This is the first cut of the first video that I ever edited. And at that moment, if I had no constraints on my computer system and no constraints on my budget, I think I would have downloaded Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, bought a Mac and got Final Cut Pro, and then declared all of them a failure. This could very well have been the very first cut of my very first video. I'm going to show you why a beginner can be very dangerous with just a little bit of info. So what they teach you is that you have to cut at your waveform. So if you want to be efficient, you position your playhead to just before you speak, and that's where you make the cut. And so this is what I kept getting, and I kept blaming my software, and if I was allowed to upgrade infinitely, I would still have the same problem, because the problem is not my software at all. Let's step back a few frames and see what happens. So here the waveform is flat. There's nothing going on in terms of speech, but you can see that my mouth is already open, and as I go frame by frame, see, I am lifting my hand and opening my mouth, and now as the waveform comes, I will play.
Hi everyone.
So as you see, self-awareness is really king. That was lesson number 1. What saved me at that time was actually the lack of features. I ended up using VSDC Free, which had no audio waveform. So I could only cut on visual cues, and therefore I cut that scene before I even started to raise my hand. So just remember that when you vlog, every single little mannerism is going to be on display. You need to be careful to be slow, to be deliberate, and try not to move before you speak. After I finished my first sewing video, I was on a complete roll. I had processed more than 50 gigabytes of total raw footage and about 160 clips, of which about 120 made it into the final video. And then it runs for about 25 minutes, everything rendered smoothly, everything posted without a hitch. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I was just about to find out. Guess what? This is the next time that I opened up my computer and I was putting my new Pandas for Productivity footage in to edit. Normally, I will clap once at the start and once at the end of each clip in order to sync my audio and video. And I was super proud that this time around, I have my mic, so I'm going to get wonderful audio. But then, everything slowed to a crawl. I couldn't even move my mouse properly. I was wondering, how am I going to fix this? Is my entire setup ruined? Let's look at all the things I tried. So what was my lesson here? It was that even when I encounter a daunting and perplexing problem, what I need to do is to break it down step by step into all the possible root causes and then figure out how do I isolate each one of them one by one. And through that process, I will be able to find the answer. This will apply also to all the analytics problems that we are going to encounter in business. How do you resize an image in PowerPoint? How do you resize the same image in GIMP? We spend so much on software. Think about just the amount you are paying for Microsoft Office 365 every year. But here's what we are paying for. Firstly, product management. So there's a team of product managers thinking about what are the next set of features that will make life easier for us. Secondly, user interface design. See how easy it was for the rectangle to shrink in PowerPoint versus GIMP. Number 3 is software developers. So the people who make everything super stable and who develop the features on schedule. But then, for this project, I've decided not to try to make money. And there's a reason why. Because when I wrote my first book review on my blog, Pandas 3.1 Cookbook, at that point I was thinking of having Amazon affiliate links, and I was just at that moment of trying to pop that link into that post, and that was when I decided I'm not even going to try to go into the Amazon affiliates program. Because the people who read my blog and who watch my videos, they are my ex-colleagues, they are my friends. They trust my analytics expertise to recommend books to them. So I don't want any of these kinds of conflict of interest. I want to recommend this book because I believe that it is genuinely useful, not because I'm going to earn money from Amazon if you buy it. So you'll see that because this is all out of pocket, I'm also making some of my own sacrifices. I'm trying to use free and open source software as much as possible. There's one exception of software that I paid for, and that was my VSDC Pro subscription. So this is a lightweight software that runs on super outdated computers, and you only need like less than a gigabyte of RAM, and you can start to produce videos. So that's really helpful to a lot of people, especially in developing countries. And so I thought, okay, well, this thing is actually benefiting me, and I do need some of the pro features. So I'm just going to buy this subscription. But at $20 a year, that's less than $2 a month. So it's still pretty economical. What are the things that I'm giving up with this decision? I don't have convenient sets of assets to do aesthetic overlays, aesthetic titles. I don't have a set of ready background music or sound effects, things like that. So maybe I can't make the kind of cool aesthetic videos that are popular with YouTubers, but then my objective here is to use this as a platform to communicate, to inform, to share information and experiences. So the challenge is on me. I have to start thinking about how I can edit better, how I can source better content and bring things together even without all these fancy bells and whistles. So in vlogging, there's this constant temptation to spend on hardware. There are affiliate links everywhere in YouTube telling you what's the latest and greatest in cameras, tripods, microphones, you have it. So when I decided that I'm going to use my existing camera and my existing computer, that drove a lot of onward decision making. For example, I know that I need to make my lighting situation work, so I needed to buy a light. And then for the software front, there is this software called DaVinci Resolve, which is professional grade for color grading. They have got a compositing tool, an audio tool that's professional as well, and is all built into one software, a free version, which is overkill for a normal vlogger. It's very tempting, but then I know that to make the most out of it, I'm going to have to upgrade my computer. And so, nope, that's out. But the one thing that's been eating at me all along has been about buying a mic. So one of the compromises I'm making with not upgrading my camera is that I don't have that variable angle LCD. So I have to have really good light, and I have to be able to pre-focus on something and try to do some intelligent guesswork about my framing before I get in front of the camera. But then there's the sound, and I need to be able to record audio. I've been trying to use my camera mic, and then I was trying to use my computer mic when I did the software tutorial in late October. That was the point when I decided that I really don't have a choice. I have to spend on a mic. And at that point, I had made a whole slew of expenditures already. I was halfway through HCanHack, and I had 25 gigabytes of footage. I knew what that was trending towards, and so I knew I had to start buying storage and fast. Getting a mic, well, I originally wanted to say I could do this for less than $100. I couldn't. I wanted to say I could at least do this for less than $200. Again, I couldn't. At this point, I've done this for $300. But you know what? That expenditure was probably worth it, because after that, I got my first constructive comment on Reddit. It said that although that tutorial might be good, the mic was compromising the sound, and they did guess that I was using a cheap mic. And I was using my computer built-in mic, which I knew probably couldn't cut it, but that was all that I had in the moment. I'm still walking that line about trying to decide what's a want and what's a need. At least so far, I'm trying to make my setup work for me for as long as possible, and only to acquire things when I feel limited with what I have already. And we'll see how long this can go. Those few seconds that you just watched, that was the moment that could make or break my first episode of HCanHack. Why? Because I did two things that I absolutely could not do again if I had messed them up. The first thing was the jeans button. It's a button that you hammer in, so if I had put it in the wrong place, that was it. I would have to repeat the shots all over again. I almost chickened out. I searched my entire collection for sew-on buttons that I could use. In the end, I could not find any, so I decided to push ahead, and that forced me to be successful the first time I hammered in a jeans button. And the second thing was my focus. So I knew that autofocus may not be reliable with the amount of time I move around during sewing, so I was using manual focus for the very first time as well. If I had messed up that shots, I could not hammer in the button again. So again, I would have lost that footage if things had turned out wrong. But you know what? In the end, it was all worth it. This vlog is all about challenging myself, and that's what I hope to do in videos to come, especially for HCanHack. I hope that you enjoyed these 5 learning points, and I hope to see you again next time. Thank you.